My name is Emma Duarte.
And my name is Christian Watkins.
And we are Christian teens giving our personal insight with facts and stories.
Welcome to the TBH, Teens Being Honest podcast. Pretty much the most beautiful man on the planet Earth in peak physical form. That's the fist of fury. I'm in peak mode. I wanted to do a few athletic poses for you. You know, I'm pretty much 100%, happy with my body. Big muscles, and that's what I have. I'm also pretty attractive with my hair. Got Tracy here. This is the tennis ball to my left, and I've got Stacy here. This is the baseball to my right. When they come together, they become muscles. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Teens Being Honest podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about body positivity and just bettering ourselves in general, talking about how our souls are connected to our body, whether it be brain, flesh, bones, or whatever. We're connected, right? And not only that beauty is on the outside, but it also is on the inside, and it means a lot more than what we think or what we say in different social media or just at school when you're like, wow, she's got a nice butt. That's not what beauty is, right?
No.
That's
what
we're trying to we're trying to stop that sort of view
nice
on life.
butt.
Exactly. That's what it happens a lot. It's not
it does. You're
exactly.
so right.
It's a normal thing. But that's not what it should be. That's not what beauty is, and that's not how we can show our beauty or how we should be judged.
Yeah, that's not being positive about your body. That's being, objectifying, negative towards it, and that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about a true love, a true acceptance, a true just kindness that you can show to yourself by, showing your love to yourself and to your body and your reflection.
So to do that, we have to understand what beauty is, what real beauty is.
Exactly.
Right? Because I can think, wow, these Victoria's Secret models are amazing, or
they're so hot.
Exactly.
They got those long legs.
Or the Kardashians. Oh my gosh! Besides the mom, everyone's.
Hey, don't be mean to Chris. She tries, okay? She tries.
So you think, wow, that's what I want to be. That's what I want to look up to, or that's the type of girl that I want to date or have a relationship with, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not what beauty is.
It goes deeper, way deeper than that.
It goes deeper than that. But how do you get there? How do you get that inner love, that inner beauty, right? Because if you go up to a person, you start having a conversation with them, you can tell if they're on fire or if they're just full of love, full of compassion.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. I don't know how, but you just know. You're drawn to that. You're drawn to that, even if, I don't want to say this because it sounds terrible, but even if they don't have these looks that you in your brain you think will make a person kind, likable, happy, whatever it is, it's just not. It's not the same.
No,
it's
even
not the
if
same.
They're not your version of what you think is beautiful, they have that light inside of them that's you're so drawn to, and that's what makes them just overpoweringly gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's so important in girls and especially in boys, but I want to talk a bit more about girls because I have that perspective, is that when we are lifting each other up instead of gossiping about each other or criticizing each other on our outfits, on our bodies, on our faces, on our imperfections, when we're able to just call from God and just have the Holy Spirit fill us with love, happiness, kindness, and we're feeding our souls on the daily, It fills our whole body like we're a cup, from our toes to our head. And we're just so excited, and we're so full of joy that when it overflows, it's quite literally a beam of light. It comes out from your eyes, from your smile, from your hugs and your physical affection. It comes out in just an overpowering wave of light. That's why people are so drawn to other people. They're a light in their life. It's beyond gorgeous, right? It's a sun in a person, and that comes from the Holy Spirit, it comes from God, it comes from Jesus.
So people are thinking right now, Christian, okay, you've told us how great this is, how great this inner beauty is. Just these, how do I get there?
Right.
How do I get that?
Right.
Maybe I don't even want that. Why would I want that? I'm fine where I am right now. I like my looks. I like my girlfriend, or I like my side hoe. Just things like that, right?
Right.
I like it.
No,
I like where I'm at, and I think this is what I've been told will make me happy, and I'm just going to keep pursuing it, and eventually it probably will, right?
Yeah.
But that's not where it's at. So you look at life. Who is all good, who is all love, and who is all joy? That's Jesus.
God, yeah.
That's God. That's Christ. So if we invite him into ourselves, then we get to reciprocate that love, that joy, that kindness.
Right, all of it.
But how do you do that, right? You can,
Yeah.
because people think, I gotta keep praying. I gotta pray. I gotta do these different prayers. I gotta memorize these different things.
Something might be holding them back, like, popularity, wanting to fit in. Just a whole bunch of things. Like, they don't want to be boring. They don't want to have a support system of, people who are just not about religion. I mean, like, in society, if you really think about it, it's not... They always praise love, but I don't see enough people actually having it, actually seeing it. We see all of these celebrities, and they're like, oh, spread love, spread kindness, spread this. It's like, I see a lot more judgment and hate towards people, towards especially people that don't agree with them. And so our body positivity, that's a big movement in today's society, and it's all about self-love, self-acceptance. It's okay to be okay, which is all great, right?
Before you keep going, you got to search for the right beauty. Self-love, self-positivity.
Yeah.
Although it's great, sometimes it's a little bit, you have to draw a line at some place, right?
What do you mean?
When you're striving for physical beauty, or just different physical things that aren't of God, aren't of Christ, that is not what you want to be striving for. That won't.
Yeah, but it's still important for everyday, for people, for girls and boys to want to feel and look their best, right?
Yeah, that's important, but it's not as important as you want to focus on your inner self.
Of course not, right?
Yeah, but
I think it still needs to be said, of just like how to love your outside appearance with all of its imperfections, right?
Exactly, but that's why you got to focus on your inner self. If you focus on your outer beauty and you try to perfect that, how are you going to be able to then also focus on your inner beauty and reciprocate God's love? If you think, man, I got a bad face today, like, what am I gonna do? I mean, I've cleaned my face, I've done everything that I can, but I still have this acne, or I still have this this zit. Just different things that are just going to bring you down, bring you to where you don't want to be, make you think, oh, gosh, I'll never be there. I'll never be who I want to be. I'll never be as beautiful or as strong. Like if you're going to the gym, for say. You say, oh, man, only if I'm buff. Then all these girls will like me. I'll change. I'll just be a better person. Working out's good. I'm gonna work out 24/7. Well, not 24/7, just a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to get buff, I'm going to get strong, and I'm going to...
Which is still, in a healthy mindset, it's still good to want to be able to better yourself, have that workout, those exercises, and that,
Yeah, but...
making your body healthy, because it's a temple for God.
Yeah.
You don't want to...
So, I totally agree with you, but then if you only focus on that workout,
right,
and there's no other goal besides that, just to be strong, just to like look good, like be a bodybuilder, whatever it is,
it'll leave you empty for sure.
Perfect. So how do you not feel empty and strive for either physical healthiness and inner? How do you do that, right? Isn't it so complicated? This religious stuff is so beyond me.
It's hard to wrap your head around,
right? I'm not a saint. I can't, I mean, I look at all these saints. I'm not a saint. I don't have this perfect connection with God. I don't have this perfect love. I want it, maybe deep down I want it, but I don't want to give these different things up, right? It's a process. It's little by little. Right now, God might be in a shack in your heart. Now, here's what I'm saying with that. God lives inside each and every one of us, right? And he wants to get into our heart. He wants us to open our hearts to him. Because if God is all love, all truth, all kindness, and we even accept him just a little bit, we get to reciprocate a little bit of that love, that truth, right? That kindness. So, but how am I supposed to do that? little things every day. Little things. Say, oh, God, man, I am mad. I am mad right now. But I actually want to love a little bit more today. I just want. I don't know if I'm fully open to you yet, but I want to make a little step just right now. Say, hey, I want to give myself a little bit more to you. I want to reciprocate your kindness, your love. Then, or if you're, man, I look terrible today. Like when you say body positivity, acceptance, all that is good, right? But like I said, if that's all you focus on is becoming beautiful, becoming pretty, having boys like you or girls like you.
It's a mindset from your heart, you know?
Yes.
So you'll be able to see yourself as beautiful on the outside too.
Yes, but that's not, you don't want to see yourself, you don't want to have that mindset where you think, man, only if I'm look this way.
That's toxic.
Right? So that's why focusing on inner beauty or just letting God into your heart. Now,
how do we do that though?
I've already said how to do that, right? Little things, accepting God's love, just trying to reciprocate that love. God knows our thoughts. God knows what we're thinking. He knows that we're trying, and he'll work with us. He doesn't want us to become saints right away, right? He knows we're human. He knows we make mistakes.
You got this.
This is a crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
Because we think, oh, gosh, I am not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. So God can't love me. That's not possible. And I can't reciprocate that love because I don't love myself.
I've thought exactly those same things. Like, way more often than
I think them all the time. I think them all the time. But God doesn't think like that. No, if he's all love, all kindness, and all joy, truth, whatever, he does not think like us. He created us in his image and likeness. He wants to be with us. He's living inside of us. Now, we can make a shack for him where he's shoved out. We don't want to love like God does. We don't want to be like God is.
Yeah.
We don't want him, right? He's still there, but we don't want him. We've closed the doors. We've closed the doors of our heart instead of building him up inside of our heart. So if God's in a shack right now, he doesn't have to be. You're miserable because all that love, all that joy is gone. Yeah. I mean, it's not gone, but it's locked up.
You're not putting it towards him.
No, and you're not putting it towards him, but you're not also putting it towards other, right? We want to use God's love, his infinite love, so that we can love others. So, right,
Amen.
Opening our hearts. What does that mean? So, little things, like I said, but then what does that do to our hearts? We start to build a house for God inside of our heart, a place where he can stay. And where he can clean, where he can just purify us, right?
He takes care of us.
So if God is living in our soul, and we're made in his image and likeness, if we're called to be with him for eternity, right? Then if we are even able to reciprocate a fraction of his love, then the world will be a better place. And if you're miserable right now, I feel for you, because I was miserable. I still sort of, like, sometimes I feel miserable.
Like, we're not going to sit here and say we're happy all the time.
No, but I know that there's more to this life.
Yeah.
I know that there's more to what we are.
I'm getting all
what
hyped
we
up
look
on what
like,
you're saying
right?
Yeah.
There's more than that. It
so
doesn't.
Much more.
Because we think, oh, gosh, if only I looked better. Oh, gosh, if I only had what I want, right?
Materialistic stuff, superficial stuff, surface level stuff.
Whatever it is, if only then I'd be happy.
No, I thought the same way. I mean, still sometimes I catch myself thinking that same way, but the thing is that now I'm catching myself. Now I'm like, oh wait, that's actually not from God, that mindset. Oh wait, that's actually not a healthy mindset. Oh wait, there's actually something I can, do to actually feel on a deeper level happier, more successful, and not in a money way, but in just like a joyous, wonderful way.
Building that house for God is going to take time, and it's going to take work.
Your whole life, I feel like.
Construction is not fun. Do you see those construction workers always having fun?
It's hard work.
No.
But you get paid sevenfold.
And like, guess what else they have? They got tools that help them along the way. Now you got to use those tools. How are you going to build a house without using tools, right? You can have tools, right? And you think, man, I got my hammers and my nails. I can build this house for God. You're going to end up building like a little shack. Now, what that means, what I'm trying to say with that analogy is, you want to accept God, but you're not reaching those tools that we're given. I mean, the Bible is confusing, I'll tell you that. But there are a lot of books that help, like, just not only religious books, but just books that tell us what life is supposed to be about, right? Then you're getting another tool to
or videos or even music.
Music. Yeah.
There's so many other tools that we have that will change our mindset in a way where we will love God and put him first, and then in turn it transforms the way that we think and the way that we see our bodies. And that's really what we want to talk about in this episode, is just how our body is so precious, and how, I mean, the chances of us even being born, like 1 in a million of us being fertilized, and us being in the womb, and us being born, and just overall having our first breath. The chances of that are just incredible. So God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't just really leave it up for chance. That's a human way of thinking, of just like, oh, he must not know everything because this kind of counteracts that, and why would he do that? And it's like, we really just have to think that we're not a mistake in God's eyes, no matter how we came about into this world, or no matter the bad things that we've done in this world. We are here for a purpose. And there's a saying, I forgot who said it, but it was like, there's 2 most important days in a man's life: the day he was born and the day he finds out why. And I was thinking of that, and I was the other day, and it kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, like, we're here to save souls. We're here to help others. That's our purpose. That's our why. We're here to love and to give honor to God, to the one who created everything. I was watching Animal Planet, and I'm like looking at all these bodies of fish, and I know this is kind of off topic, but it's also like magnificent. If you ever look at it, and they just have all the pictures of the whales and the kelp forests, and it's like, man, God created every atom in that thing, and there's genetics. It's like, look at us. Look at human beings with our brains and our opposable thumbs, and look at us as being beautiful and just magnificent, and how it's so crazy.
But before everyone gets scared, we don't have to be, I'm called to save souls and do this podcast and just try and reach as many teens as possible. But that might not be what you are called to do.
Yeah.
So don't look at this and say, gosh, I could never be like these different saints. I could never be like these different ministers.
Yeah.
That's not about that. I could be doing this, and I could have a skill in reaching teens or reaching people in general. But then you could have a skill in, I don't know, helping the poor, helping the needy. And then together that makes a beautiful picture. So right now, right now, boys don't look at girls with the most respect. That's not... It's just not... I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's not something that we can expect, or... I don't know. It's sort of far
Especially
off.
at our age. It seems like the older that we get, maybe it gets...
But you said earlier, that the thing that... The 2 most important times or parts of a man's life is when they're born, and then they find out
why they were born. Yeah.
Boom. What we are born as men is to protect the innocence of those girls, right? Instead of undressing them with those thoughts, we're supposed to, wrap our arms around them and protect them from those impurities, right? And we don't do that. That's just not what we do. We got lustful temptations all the time. It's been going crazy for me. I mean, yesterday I was just bombarded with them. I was bombarded with those thoughts, it's not a sin to have those temptations, right? It's a sin to act on those temptations, to watch porn.
It's a human thing to have desires, and to even look at ourselves with disgust.
So if you watch porn, right?
Yeah.
Or ask for nudes or hook up with someone, and then you're left empty. And you not only empty yourself, but then you also dig a void in that person's heart. And you move them closer away from Jesus without even knowing it. You move them closer away from love without even knowing it. You're called to protect people, men. You're called to be men. Chaste. You know what that means? It means to love like a pure love, not a lustful love where all you want to do is have sex, and you think, man, maybe when I'm married I'll just have a whole bunch of sex. That's also not chastity, right? That's not love. Love is refrain from trying to hurt a person that was created in God's image. And all these different teenage girls that are going through so much, or these different porn stars, I mean, they've probably got terrible things going from them. They've got so much working against them. You think, oh, man, they're rich, they're famous, they've got all these benefits. Nah, they're broken, and you're using them. Whenever you look at their videos, whenever you do anything like that, you're using them, and that's not what we're called to do.
That's not.
It's a scary thing.
Human body positivity.
And you can hear your parents say all this, porn's bad, and you still do it, right? But there's something more than just it being bad, right? It's just a separation. It's, instead of building that house, it's you wanting to tear that house down.
Cut and tie from God.
Mm-hmm. So with the last point of this whole podcast, we want to say that, or I want to say that, men, we're called to be protectors of the innocent. We're called to protect women, not to use them as objects or as things for our pleasure. That's just, if you really think about that in your heart, I don't know where you can find justice or the right in that. It's a scary thing to even think about, because we've been taught that it doesn't really matter, it's not hurting anyone, but it's not only hurting yourself, but it's also hurting whoever you're doing it with, or whoever you're looking at. It's all bad. There's no good in it, and it doesn't bring you any joy, doesn't bring you any love, doesn't bring you any closer to God. It doesn't make you better, and it doesn't make the person you're interacting with any better at all.
Yeah.
So I just want to, let out a prayer and just say, man, if you're going through this, you can change. It's not a disease. It's not incurable. It is curable, and there is a way to protect yourself and to protect the ones that you love.
And it is rewarding.
Mm-hmm. There's more to life than just this. There's more to life on earth. We're made to be eternal. We're made to be with God, but we can choose to be separated from Him. That's free will. A person that loves us isn't going to make us be with Him, right? If my parents were so restrictive on me and didn't let me hang out with my different friends, I would hate them forever. I would just go farther and farther away. We have to choose.
Ultimately, yeah.
We have to choose to stop, to not give in to those temptations, and not to objectify, but to protect. So I just want to wrap us up with a prayer and just say that, try and have at least one person change, right? And if you think, man, that's not me, let it be you. Let it be you that today just decides, I know I'm going to mess up, God, but I do desire to make a better home for you in my heart. I do desire to have you love a little more, right? I do just desire that real love, that real joy. So I just want to wrap us up with a prayer. If everyone just can sort of be in silence. Lord, you know our thoughts, you know our temptations, you know our struggles, everything working against us, and everything that we are and we're going to ever be. And I know that you want each and every one of us, no matter who we are, no matter where we come from, and no matter what we're going to be. You want us. You have a mission for each of us. You put us on this earth for a reason. You picked us out of the millions of different people that could have been born. You chose us. And you are walking along with us along the way, even if we're making bad choices and not loving ourselves like you love us. We all make mistakes, Lord. I want you to, I know you know that, but it's hard to realize that sometimes. I just want to pray for the desire to get to know you more, to love you better, and to be able to reciprocate your love. I want to pray for the desire to not look at women as objects or as possessions, but instead as your creation that we're supposed to protect and love and cherish. I ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode, and we'll see you all next week, hopefully, and bye-bye. Hey, everyone, it's Emma Duarte.
super excited, super bubbly, and you should totally subscribe to us on everything and follow us on Instagram because we're so awesome.